the 2025 Golden Spike meet in Ostrava, something wild went down. Zoe Hobbs shot out of the block so low she almost hit the dirt. She wobbled, she stumbled, then she just took off. By 30 meters, she was already in front of the pack. By the finish line, the clock said 10.94 seconds, a new Oceania record, a new personal best, and proof that everyone had her speed all wrong. She said it herself, "I'm mind blown." Honestly, so are we, Zoe. But get this moment did not just appear out of nowhere. Go back through her whole career and you'll see it clear as day. Every time the world set a limit on her speed, she smashed right through it. Every single time, no exceptions. And that's the story we're diving into today. Zoe grew up in Stratford, a tiny town in Taranaki, New Zealand. She's Māori, from the Ngaruahine iwi. As a kid, she played basketball, netball, even the gymnastics. But on the track, she was something else entirely. Her big brother Connor spotted it first. He'd line up the cocky older boys at school, kids who swore no girl could beat them, then he'd point at his little sister and say, "She'll smoke you." And she always did. Barefoot, on the grass, every single lunchtime. By age 8, she was already running the 100 meters in under 15 seconds, smashing Taranaki age group records. Something big was brewing, and almost nobody around her had a clue. She didn't fully commit to sprinting until her last year at New Plymouth Girls High School. Then in 2016, she moved to Auckland, joined coach James Mortimer's squad at the Millennium Institute, and got to work. It was far from glamorous. She was studying nutrition full-time, squeezing in the gym before her job, and track after it. For years, she balanced training with a full-time job as a nutritionist. Outside New Zealand, nobody knew her name. Her times were improving, sure, but they weren't turning heads worldwide yet. 11:32, 11.27, 11.21, 11.55. Decent times, nothing flashy, but nobody had any idea what was coming next. Then March 2023 hit. At the New Zealand Nationals in Wellington, Hobbs crossed a line and looked up at the board. 10.89 seconds. The crowd went crazy. She went crazy too, but the wind was too strong, over the legal limit, so the record didn't count officially. Still, something had changed. 8 days later at the Sydney Track Classic, in fair conditions, she ran 10.97 seconds. She became the first woman from Oceania ever to break 11 seconds in the 100 meters. That's not just a regional win. That puts her in a whole new league of sprinters. Finally, the world started watching, and people said that's her limit. Maybe 10.96 on her best day. She's fast, but this is where she stops. 1 month later, in Switzerland, at the Rissy Sprint International, she ran 10.96 seconds in the heats. That single run did two huge things at once. It smashed her own Oceania record, and it hit the automatic Olympic qualifying mark for Paris 2024, which was 11.07 seconds. One race, two pieces of history. She became the first Kiwi woman sprinter to qualify for the Olympic 100 meters in almost 50 years. The last one was Sue Jack, way back at the 1976 Montreal Games. When Zoe saw her time, she couldn't believe it, especially with how tricky the wind was that day. That's the kind of run that changes a career forever. Next stop, Budapest 2023, the World Athletics Championships. She stepped into a semifinal called the fastest in World Championship history. Sha'Carri Richardson, Shericka Jackson, Marie-Josée Talu-Smith, all in her heat. She ran 11.02 seconds and missed the final by just 0.01 of a second. That's 1/100th of a second. She still finished the season ranked 10th fastest woman on the planet, but people still weren't convinced. They still thought she'd hit her ceiling. Then, in March 2024, at the World Indoor Championships in Glasgow, Hobbs made her first ever global final in the 60 meters, running 7.06 seconds, a new Oceania indoor record. Fourth place, just 0.01 seconds from bronze. Then came Paris 2024, her Olympic debut. She reached the semifinals of the 100 meters. Barrier after barrier gone. She kept rolling, landing on the podium at the Monaco Diamond League. Then she reached the semifinals at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, closing the year ranked 12th in the world. She's just 27 years old. She's right in the prime of her career, and the numbers tell the whole story. 11.32, then 11.15, then 10.97, then 10.96, then 10.94. Every single time people thought they'd figured her out, Zoe proved them wrong again. So here's the real question. It's not about whether she's hit her limit, it's about how much faster she's still going to get. Picture this scene. Lane 1 completely flooded. A massive storm dumping rain on the track. The 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. And the runner who hasn't gone under 44 seconds in the Open 400 since 2017 grabs the baton 10 meters behind the pack. What happened next broke the internet. But to get why this moment hit so hard, we need to rewind. August 14th, 2016, Rio de Janeiro, the Olympic 400-meter final. Every eye, every camera, every expert was locked on the middle lanes. Nobody was watching lane 8. Nobody except Wade Van Niekerk. When the gun went off, he ran the first 200 meters faster than any human ever had in a 400-meter race. The crowd didn't even know what they saw. He crossed the line and dropped to one knee. 43.03 seconds. Michael Johnson's world record from 1999 had stood for 17 years. Gone, just like that. Usain Bolt ran across the whole stadium just to hug him. Johnson himself, calling the race for the BBC that night, said, "From lane 8, a world record. I've never seen anything like that from 200 to 400. That was the night the world learned Wade Van Niekerk's name. And it wasn't just the 400. He's the only human ever to run sub 10 in the 100, sub 20 in the 200, and sub 44 in the 400. Not Bolt, not Johnson, nobody else." He backed up his Rio record with world titles in 2015 and 2017. By October 2017, he'd just married his wife Chesney. Sponsorships, fame, everything was going his way. Then came the worst decision of his life. October 7th, 2017. A celebrity touch rugby game in Cape Town, South Africa. His cousin, rugby star Cheslin Kolbe, was playing too. Wade used to play rugby as a kid, so he figured, why not have some fun? One bad step, one twisted knee. He walked off not even knowing how bad it was. Then the scans came back. Torn ACL, torn meniscus, both sides. For a 400-meter runner who depends on raw power and smooth motion, this wasn't just an injury, it was almost the end of his career. 2018 and 2019 were basically wiped out. Then COVID took 2020 too. At the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, the man who held the world record couldn't even reach the 400-meter final. That's how low he'd fallen. The years after that were rough to watch. Eugene 2022 Worlds, 5th place, 44.89. Budapest 2023 Worlds, 7th place, 44.11. Then, at Paris 2024, he shocked everyone. He skipped the 400 completely and ran the 200 instead. He got knocked out in the semis. Something needed to change. And early 2025, it finally did. He left his coach Lance Browman in Florida, where he trained beside Olympic champion Noah Lyles, and went home to South Africa. Back to Bloemfontein, back to the tracks where he first became a champion. And instead of hiring another big-name coach, he handed the reins to his stepfather, Steven Schwartz. His agent, Pete Van Zyl, told everyone, "Wade's home in South Africa now. Steven's running his training, and all those injuries are behind him." His wife Chesney was expecting their second child too. This wasn't just a change of address, this was a full reset. Now, back to Tokyo, 2025 World Championships. Final day, men's 4x400 relay. The rain was brutal, the kind that slowed every single runner down. When South Africa got the baton for the third leg, they were sitting in third, about 10 meters back. The USA had already thrown down splits of 44.6 and 44.22. Botswana, with 400 champion Kevin Ahiwampe waiting to anchor, sat in second. Everyone expected Ahiwampe, a 43.5 runner, to post the fastest split of the night. Nobody was thinking about Wade. He took the baton in lane 1, water splashing with every step, and ran 43.26 seconds, the fastest split of the entire race, by 0.67 seconds, faster than the gold medal team, faster than anyone else on that track. By the time his leg ended, he'd nearly caught Botswana completely. South Africa finished third. Botswana took gold in 2.57.76. The USA and South Africa tied at 2.57.83. But the next day, nobody talked about gold. Everyone talked about what Wade did in lane 1 in a flood. Then came February 2026, Free State Stadium, Bloemfontein, season opener. He ran the 100 meters in 10.13, winning easy. Then he ran the 200 meters in 20.32. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy deep athlete stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is Athlete Feeds, and we'll see you in the next one.